It's Taste of Country Nights with Evan Paul on demand, season 2, episode 11 with Carly Pearce. We were talking to Ashley McBride, and she gave us like an exact date that she's going to get that Grammy tattoo. Are you getting one?
Oh my God. I feel, to be honest with you, I feel like I need to get one for Female Vocalist of the Year. I feel like I need to get one for a Grammy. I feel like I have a few tattoos that I need to get.
We had a lot of fun with Carly Pearce. She talked about a lot of stuff, everything from her divorce to how she lended a hand in Kelsea Ballerini's divorce to what she's got going on musically, what's next, her Grammy Awards. We had a good conversation with Carly Pearce. Hop on in here and take a listen to it. As always, thank you for checking out Taste of Country Nights with Evan Paul on demand, part of the Town Square Media Podcast Network. 29 was such a huge album for you. A lot of it was about your divorce. Are you worried, what's going to fuel a record that would outperform that one?
I think what I learned through that album is that people just want to hear the way that I see the world and what I'm going through. And I think that's how we as artists relate the best to people, just because we are all human beings going through the same kind of things. And so I think I've tried to just tackle this next record with the exact same feeling of what I'm going through and sharing that as transparently as I can. Okay,
and with all the personal songs that you put out and on your last record and stuff, how do you handle the burden of trying to answer all of the people that message you with similar things that are going on in their lives?
It actually kind of makes me feel more... I guess it makes me feel like I'm not alone. What's been interesting is I write these songs and I have felt at times like I was the only one going through it, and it's felt very overwhelming. And then when people share their stories with me, it actually in return makes me feel not alone. So it's this really cool relationship that I feel like I've had with fans through some of the hardest moments of my life.
What's it like for you to know you're about to have another number one song in country radio? How's that feel?
I mean, I'm crossing every toe and every finger and freaking out. I mean, it would be huge. I found out this week that there has not been a solo female artist hit number one since Things a Man Ought to Know with Lainey in 2021. So it is time. And I want to ring that bell.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like you're going to do it. You're going to do it. We're here to support you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We were talking to Ashley McBride, and she gave us an exact date that she's going to get that Grammy tattoo. Are you getting one?
Oh my God. I feel, to be honest with you, I feel like I need to get one for Female Vocalist of the Year. I feel like I need to get one for a Grammy. I feel like I have a few tattoos that I need to get.
Are they possible, or is it a no?
Oh, it's definitely possible. Also, Grand Ole Opry member, maybe I can just get one for all three of them. Figure out something cool to do.
Yeah, just get them all done at one time. Why not?
Yes.
Did Kelsea Ballerini reach out to you for any advice or mentorship going through a divorce when hers happened?
She did. I think that Kelsea was one of the very first people that I told I was filing for divorce, and I was one of the first people that she told me that, or I was one of the first people that she told when she was filing. And I think, it's hard to go through things like this publicly. And she gave me a lot of confidence back when she didn't even know that this was going to be a part of her story too. And so it's been a really interesting full circle moment for me to now kind of boost her up and tell her that she can do it. And I'm proud of her for just laying it all out there and doing what she needed to do to get through a season of her life that's very hard to do in the public eye.
What's it like behind the scenes of the Blake tour?
Oh, gosh. I mean, it's Blake, so he's wild. You always hear him coming up and down the halls. Sometimes you see Gwen Stefani, which is really exciting. It's very fun. I'm having a really good time on this tour.
Do you think that it would ever be possible for you and Gwen to get on stage and do a little something together?
No comment, because I don't know. It could be happening.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. When you recorded Written in Stone, the live version that's getting ready to come out, did you know that they were recording for that specific show? And if you did that make you more nervous?
So I always loved live records when I was a kid, and I really wanted to find the right moment to make one of my own. And 29 Written in Stone just felt like the right album because of the storytelling, the musicality. It felt like the album that kind of defined who I am as an artist. And yes, we knew that we were recording that particular show for the special. And it definitely made me a little bit more nervous just because I wanted to get it right, but it also made it way more exciting because I feel like the energy in the room that night was just really electric.
Do you feel like it's now your job to give advice and mentor the next generation of women in country music, or do you feel you're still too new?
I mean, I think I've had enough success to feel like I can speak to just my experience over the last 6 years, for sure. A lot happens to you from the time that you put your first single out to now feeling, like you're pretty established. I think my biggest piece of advice is just to be yourself. You see all of the female artists out that are having success right now, and all of us have a very defined lane, and I think that's crucial.
Who do you believe is the best living country performer?
Wow. Oh, I mean, Garth Brooks for sure.
You had a ton of performing experience, before you got your record deal, et cetera, at Dollywood, of course. But that's not always the case with a lot of artists that are discovered on social media or Spotify, nowadays. How do you feel about that? And then how much do you credit your success to all those early hours you spent on the stages at Dollywood?
I think that the trends change with every, few years. And I think like when I was coming up, a lot of people got discovered on SiriusXM, or a lot of people got discovered by just putting their music out and it going and working on iTunes or things like that. And I think you're seeing this trend now of TikTok, and when things catch fire, then it kind of is a domino effect of sales and streams and different things. So I think it's always going to be something different as we go along. And I think that's kind of I'm curious to see what the next wave will be past TikTok. And I think I don't credit a lot of my success for my time at Dollywood, but I will tell you that the work ethic and the stamina that I had to have at 16, 17, 18 years old to play 6 shows a day, 5 days a week, I definitely feel like I learned what that was all about at that time, just what it really means to put on a show every day, because the schedule is definitely not for people that maybe don't want to work hard or don't want to put in the work. So I think I definitely learned about that at Dollywood.
What's your favorite song what's your favorite song on the radio, not yours right now?
Oh, wow. Oh, gosh.
Any genre.
Well, I'm a really big Megan Moroney fan, so I'm going to say Tennessee Orange because I think she's going to be a big fat star.
And what is on your tour rider?
Oh, gosh. Let's see. Bananas, red wine, Neutrogena face wipes, hummus, Orbit gum. How's that?
That's pretty good. That compares. That's pretty good. We just talked to Tim McGraw. His was tuna sandwiches, and M&M's. So that's pretty good.
Wow, that's a really big difference.
Do you have a food that people will be surprised that you love?
I mean, people are always like, "What do you do before a show to make sure that your voice is good?" I eat an absurd amount of Halo Top ice cream on the road. It's ridiculous.
It's great. Do you try any weird ice cream flavors? There's like a new one, like ranch dressing flavor.
There is not an ice cream with ranch dressing flavored.
Yeah, it just came out. It's at Walmart. It's like the Hidden Valley. It's official.
I would throw up. No way. I need like standard sweet stuff.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us tonight. We appreciate that, Carly.
Thank you.
All right, Carly, have a good one.
You too.
All right, let's bring in Billy Dukes from behind the scenes to talk about this interview I just had with Carly Pearce.
I want to address something right off the bat. You guys sounded like you were in like a 1940s movie where you were just sort of firing back and forth. Bam, 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 bam. with the questions and answers. It was like I was watching like Gone with the Wind or something.
Yeah, I mean, it was highly edited due to the fact that she's on tour. So she took the call on tour, but she wasn't on her phone. It was on like a microphone, and there was like a delay and some feedback. So I really just kind of put it together just so everyone could kind of just hear the gist of what actually happened. But it is a little fast paced.
Evan is a total audiophile. Like if he can avoid any sort of poor audio quality at all, he's gonna do it. And this is certainly a case. It was echoey. It was hard to listen to, sort of as is. So I think you made the right move.
Yeah, thanks, man. I don't know. I've never really done an audio only Zoom where the other person wasn't on the phone. I don't understand how we were connected. I have no idea, honestly. Like, I'm showing my 40-year-old isms right here, but I have no idea what happened. All I know is I heard Carly Pearce somehow, and she heard me, but there was quite the delay. It was like a CNN interview in Saudi Arabia, where they take like 10 seconds.
That was a good question you asked about if she feels like she's been around long enough to give advice, because like Carly and Lainey and Maren Morris as well, although we haven't spoken with Maren in a while and she hasn't been present at award shows. Like, the next generation of women are here. And Carly, I think, is certainly a part of that. Although it sounds like maybe she doesn't think she is quite yet.
Yeah, I wonder if you ever do think you're like that until you're like Shania Twain level, But based on her answer, I feel like she gave an answer that was both humble and informative in that she is, these artists are looking up to her, and you're seeing artists that are, coming up now, like the Megan Maronis and all that, which Carly mentioned here. Carly was once that. So it's definitely cool to see them all kind of progress up the ladder. And, I feel she was very honest with her answer.
The thing with Carly, where she hasn't gone yet, is like the big sort of arena or amphitheater headlining tour, where you're able to sort of bring your own opening acts and go to all the same sheds that artists play. Like, I think when you reach that point, and both Lainey and Carly aren't there quite yet, then like you're cemented as like a true superstar in this format, and that would probably give you the confidence to say, yes, okay, I can give advice to that next generation.
Okay, so based off that, do you think Kelsea is there yet? Because didn't she headline some stuff or no?
She headlined like clubs and theaters. I don't think she could sell out like the 10 to 15,000 seat amphitheaters quite yet. So
like the level above like the Carly Pearces is like what, like Carrie Underwood?
Certainly Carrie Underwood, Miranda Lambert, Maren Morris was for a while. Casey Musgraves, although she's not really speaking to sort of a mainstream country music audience, but she was selling out that size of venue. And then you get to like the legends like Reba and Shania and artists like that.
Got it. That makes sense.
But she did open for Blake Shelton, and I guess we should say that you talked to Carly before the CMT Awards, but I got to believe that's what she was referring to when she teased an onstage collaboration.
Yeah, I felt like vindicated because a lot of when this interview kind of came out, a few publications were saying, there's going to be a collaboration. Could it be at the CMT Awards? And they were quoting our interview or whatever. So when it happened, I was like, yeah, okay, we're on to something here.
It made us look pretty smart. And she didn't like give you any sort of clue after the interview or anything, did you? She didn't pull you aside and say like, yeah, we're going.
No. And it makes me wonder if there's going to be like, do you think they're going to record together?
I would.
Or was it a one
and done?
If I had
to bet, I would say one and done, if only because I don't think Gwen's recorded with anybody in country music outside of Blake. And I don't know. To me, like, it was a fun moment, but their voices weren't so good together that I was like, I need to hear this on a record. Like, it was kind of a bit of a peanut butter and mustard kind of situation. Like, both good condiments, but, together, I'm not sure if it worked amazing.
And then, we also have to mention Carly Pearce opened up for Kenny on some stadium shows, right?
Now, that would be a more like I could see those two recording together. That would be cool.
Okay, and Kenny's kind of already ushered that in with his song with Kelsea Ballerini, so maybe that's the move for, Kenny.
Yeah, and Carly does a lot of duets, and she's got big duets, so maybe there's something on her album or whatever she's working on, but, who knows? I'm sure she's not going to spill that until it's ready to be released.
Right.
Carly, I mean, she does certainly I think she feels like she can give out life advice at this point, and she sort of alluded to that with Kelsea Ballerini and Kelsea going through the divorce, and they're very good friends. And I also thought she sort of deftly dodged talking about Kelsea's divorce in any sort of personal way, which was clever.
Yeah, I think so too. She told enough of what she needed to, and then kind of dodged it. But I also think that Carly, gained a lot of experience, just by answering fan messages, of people that relate to what she went through. I'm sure her inbox was just flooded, as she kind of alluded to, with people that were sharing her story, their story with her. And, just by default, I think that makes you a pro after hearing, everybody else's life stories.
It's fascinating how far she's come in 3 years. I mean, that was 3 years ago she was going through 3 years ago this month, I think, is when the divorce was announced.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
She had a huge album off that, though,
Yeah, she sure did. And it's interesting to me that no one really feels like asking her about her current boyfriend. The guy's name is Riley, and they were at the CMT Awards together, and they've done stuff together. But I feel like everybody doesn't want to put her in that position again where she's sharing her love life in case it doesn't work out. It's like this strange sort of show of respect for her.
That's interesting. I didn't really think about it like that. It's kind of quite the opposite as Kelsea Ballerini. That she just hard launched her relationship.
Yeah, she did. But I don't know. I would feel like if Kelsea came in, what would we ask? I'd almost be a little bit strange asking her about it because it's kind of like this awkward. It's like when if your sister brings this new guy who's totally out of left field to the Thanksgiving table, and you're like, so how invested should we be in this relationship?
Right.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, definitely.
It's gonna work out.
Yeah, I get that vibe as well. Thanks for listening to Taste of Country Nights with Evan Paul on demand. If you could give us a like, a rating, a subscribe, a comment, it all helps us out. And this podcast is part of the Town Square Media Podcast Network.